Okay, so what I was saying that, yeah, so I was saying that Alhamdulillah, I'm working and training on the all four clouds, but especially in the Google, AWS, and Alibaba. Working in Azure as well, but as compared with the other three clouds, I'm just working as a consultant on the Azure side. I have some other trainers on the Azure cloud as well. So we have a team who actually handle all the trainings in multiple hours in multiple regions across the globe. So that's the thing. So the today's session is all about the career building guidance on the cloud
So what is your
technologies.
location? I'm sorry. What is your location?
Right now I'm in Pakistan, but
Okay.
one of our company based in Dubai, in the free zone,
Okay.
Silicon Oasis, called the Shadil Cloud Fisco, with a partner of the Smart Cloud Solution. And in the US side, Shazad is taking care in the Wyoming and the West region. So before moving forward, let me explain and let me tell me about our services, what we are offering. So in the name of Smart Cloud and Shadil Cloud, we are already 30 plus clients across the globe in 10 plus countries. Is the B2B market, not the training side. I'm talking about the consulting side, where we provide the migration services, consultancy services, staff augmentations, and you can say the remote desktops, and the firewalls and the clouds related services, which includes not only multi-cloud but also the DevOps services, if you all know, and like Dockers, Kubernetes, Jenkins, Terraforms, Ansible. So these services are also in our chart, in our part, which we are taking care of, right? So today session is all about the cloud computing introductions. Why choose a career in the cloud computing? Definitely, most of you guys are already working in IT professionals and IT industry, but don't know how many of you guys are working in the cloud related industries, right? So definitely, it will be a good start for you guys to start as a cloud engineer. And definitely every cloud has some pros and cons in terms of the job market and in terms of the business point of view, right? Like Alibaba is not good in the US market, like Shazad better know. Alibaba and the Huawei cloud is not good fit for the US market, so we will not discuss about the Alibaba cloud. So I think we can escape easily, Shazad, the Huawei and Alibaba,
Yes.
right? So our focus is the Azure cloud, which is the much hotter and the faster in the market. Compare the second one is the AWS side, and the third one is the Google, is not much comparatively good and the much more fast compared with the AWS and Azure. But yes, if I have some market as well on the Google cloud side for the AI and machine learning side. So what is cloud computing? Let's start with the so cloud computing. If talked about in a general perspective, cloud and the cloud computing is a buzzword. So if you talk about the cloud computing, it means we are talking about the some computation service exist in the some sort of data centers, and we are using these services on the behalf of some hourly basis or monthly basis or the minutes basis, right? That's called the pay as you go model. But if you talk about the cloud is actually the suite of services which includes multiple domains. If you talk about the networking domains, so we have the infrastructure as a service, we have the network as a service, and other services as well. So cloud computing is actually the set of services which is actually divided into multiple segments and multiple domains, which includes the development domains, compliance and regulations domains, security domains, DevOps domains, infrastructure, and so on. Only in AWS have 250 plus services, right? So whenever the services comes in your mind, that would be there in the specific cloud side, right? So AWS is the market leader of the cloud domains. Azure is the second one as compared with the market share and the working side, and the third one is the Google and the other clouds like IBM on the Oracle clouds as well. So it's totally depend that which segmentation you are working on, right? Which area, geographical area you are trying to pursue as a career, like as a job or as a company, right? Like me and Shazad are working on the Saudi side as well, the KSA. Last month, me and Shazad were there, right? So we win the ministry project, Alhamdulillah, over there, which is 100% based on the Alibaba cloud. So they don't work on the AWS side, they don't work on the Azure side, right? So first, you need to understand and you need to think that if you are uh, checking and looking the cloud computing services in terms of the job side, you need to focus on the specific cloud domain. But if you have a plan to open a company, to open a startup as a self-employment, you need to focus on all three clouds, because customers comes from anywhere, can ask any cloud services, and you have to fulfill, right? That we what we are facing nowadays, right? In Canada region, in US region, they are asking about the Google services, they are asking about the AWS services. So we cannot imagine that which services they want in the specific cloud. But yes, if we have the ability, we can easily convince them that this cloud is much better as compared with the other clouds, right? So in order to move forward, first we need to understand about the services, not only the specific cloud but among the other clouds, especially the Azure, AWS, and the Google cloud. And also, Shazad, I would like anyone to ask a question even in the middle of the session. I don't worry about it, I don't
Sure.
mind, right? That would be great,
Sure.
because
Sure.
it will be very easy
Exactly.
to complete the QA session on the specific slide, and then we can move forward easily.
Right.
So, Assalamualaikum, you
Walaikum
mentioned
salam.
about comparison about the cloud technologies, right? So,
Mhm.
as you said, the customers goes and ask you about something. So, do you guys have a slide or do you have a PPT that presentations is saying, okay, the advantages or the comparison between the top cloud technologies right now?
Let
So,
me
how do you
check that
convince? How do you?
if your question is comparatively specific available in the slides. If not, then I will verbally tell you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shazad, I think let me proceed, and once in the middle of the specific after some slide, we can start the QA session again. Okay, so
Yes.
the key skills needed is the technical skills and the soft skills. Whenever we discuss about the customer's perspective, either in the job interview, either in the customer, the initial discussion related to grab the project, right? So first we need to understand the technical skills, like which cloud services the customer is looking, and the customer is you want to hire, like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. And the soft skills is the communications, the problem solvings, and the teamwork. You must be the good team leaders, and you must have different cloud skill set in order to put your space in the specific job market. And the career path which we can consider for ourselves, in even in the job market and in the self-employment, like the cloud architect, cloud engineer, cloud developer, security specialist, and the DevOps engineer. So before moving forward, let me explain a little bit and details and among these roles. So if you talk about
Do you
the
have a? I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah, go
Do
ahead,
you
go
have
ahead.
any roles regarding the FinOps?
Can you please
Sorry.
repeat?
FinOps, financial
FinApp,
operations.
FinOps, yes, FinOps, yes.
Yes.
So if you talk about the FinOps, is the merger of these services, right? Because the reason is the FinOps is the fintech companies, and we have 10 plus fintech companies in our company, which we are working basically on the PCI DSS compliance. Most of the services, like we work on the Ministry of Bahrain, I think 4 years before, they were with the good example of the FinOps, and we always focus on the PCI DSS compliant. So it's all about the compliance side, it's not about the services which we have, right? So whenever we talk about like the hospitality, we need to focus on the HIPAA compliant. If we talk about the FinOps, we need to focus on the services and the FinOps. If you talk about the FinOps, every government, every country um, have separate rules. The one of the strict rules I ever found it in the KSA region, like the Saudi region, which they don't allow to put the data and the operate
Governance
transaction.
and
Yeah,
governance and compliance is just one part of it.
yeah,
FinOps
yeah.
is more geared toward the cost of the operational cost of the environment, literally. So this has become very sensitive and very, I would say, critical. I would say it's like a. I think it seems like a position in the. It's like a job title, I would say. But
Mm,
FinOps, the reason it is
mm-hmm,
evolving nowadays is just a lot of people who implement the cloud,
mm-hmm,
I mean, services in their environment. I'm talking the big environment, especially enterprise level.
mm-hmm.
So sometimes people who are implementing it or executing it, they are not up to the mark. So so obviously it's pay as you go situation, right? Sometimes you have the contract and those
Correct.
resource or RI type thing. But the billing part is one of the crucial. aspect nowadays in the market. And FinOps is the area which really, FinOps is more financial operation, which literally in the bottom line, the nutshell is how to save the cost, operational cost. Because big
Okay.
organization, yeah, not compliance is a different area.
No, no, I'm not talking about compliance.
But anyway,
Yes,
you
yes,
can. I was just wondering, do you guys have any expertise in FinOps?
yes, yes, yes,
Because that
yes.
was
Yeah, let me explain a little bit. So, before let me complete this part, and then I will give you the answer. Right? Just give me 5 minutes. So, let me explain these job roles. Right? So, if we talk about the cloud engineer and the cloud architect, seems like this is a similar role, but there's a difference. Is cloud engineer is mostly on the day-to-day operation parts, day-to-day implementation, backup, provisioning the machines, infrastructure, and other things. Cloud architect is something like to design the infrastructure, how much machine do we need, which size of machine do we need, and how many virtual networks do we need, how to implement the hybrid solutions, design document diagrams, uh, LLC low level design documents, high level HLC high level design document. These are the part comes in the cloud architect part, and the cloud engineer part is actually the day-to-day operation. So once you start your career, you must definitely start with the either the cloud engineer or the cloud desktop technicians, right? And then you will jump on the cloud architect. Cloud architect is more about the design thinking and the design part related to that. But most of the jobs are based in the USA. Sometime if you are hired in the cloud engineer, you might be work on the cloud architect as well. There is no separate roles and there is no separate position available. You are the only one who could work either on both, either cloud engineer or the cloud architect, on both of them. The reason I'm asking, because I'm work approximate 5 years in the multi-cloud companies, Fortune 500 like Humana, Mercedes-Benz, Saltic International, Carriage Home Health. These are some of our clients in the back 2015 to 2018. So we hired as a cloud engineer, but I work on the cloud architect, even the multi-cloud architect on AWS and Google as well. Once they expand their infrastructure on back 2018-19. And then if you talk about the cloud developer is not related to the development of something, is related to the services which actually exist on the specific cloud, either on AWS on or the Google or Azure cloud. Like in the AWS side, we have the CI/CD pipelines, we have the cloud formation templates, we have the Lambda functions, we have the app engine services where we deploy our Node.js and the Python based applications using the specific services sorry, based on the specific cloud environment, which we can easily use as a tool in order to provision and deploy our infrastructure without provisioning any machines and any other things, right? Cloud security specialist is related where we need to secure our infrastructure in terms of the network side, firewall side, application side, compliance side, encryption side, all of the things. These are the part of security specialist. But remember, there's no separate job as well. Even if you want, if you are hire of the security specialist, you must have good experience in the cloud engineer and cloud architect. Without passing this architect and engineer role, you cannot directly jump on the security specialist. And one more thing, there is a difference between the cyber security and the cloud security. Remember one thing, cyber security is what we have tools out of the cloud, right? Like we have the Nessus, we have the Metaxploit, we have the Kali Linux, we have other services as well in terms of tools. But in the cloud side, cloud security side, we have the built-in tools provided by the specific cloud. Like in the AWS side, we have the organization, we have the security hubs, we have the KMS encryption. In the Azure side, we have the Azure Sentinel, Azure DevOps security part. These are the part in the cloud security specialty, right? It's totally depend that which cloud you are going to taking care of. In the DevOps part is purely the DevOps tools. We start with the Dockers, Terraform, CloudFormation, Google Deployment Manager, and the Jenkins part, Ansible, and especially one of the my loving area is the Kubernetes part. Kubernetes pods, nodes, deployments, Lambda functions, PowerShell script. These all the part of the DevOps engine. And in the US side, the normally DevOps engineer jobs is approximate $120 to $250 approximately, and more than that. Right? There is no limit for the DevOps part. But in order to jump into the DevOps part, you must have good in the engineering and architect part as well, and some sort of a developer part, because the developers tools are actually overlap with the DevOps tools as well. So either in the developer part, in the DevOps part, we normally use same tools, but some tools are different as compared with the like Docker and Kubernetes as well, which is come into the DevOps part. So any question related to this slide? Okay, now let me jump on the Amir question, like the FinOps. So Amir, whenever we talk about the FinOps side, we normally use the ROI and the TCO and other things, but this cannot start with the day one. At least when we start, we don't know how much extend and how much machines do we need to provision. So we start with roughly on the basis of analysis, and after that we have some built-in recommendations in order to we under provision and over provision the machines, removing the machines, good strategies of backups, good strategies of infrastructure designing in order to reduce the cost. And yes, we are working on it. We normally start the you can say the analysis and recommendation process, and that's called the cloud security optimization. There's our own service which we provide to our customer for those who are already working and already on the cloud, either on any cloud. And after some time, when they face in order to reduce the billing, we help them, we analyze and recommend them that this machine can be deleted, this machine can be reduced, this machine type and size can be changed, so that they can easily reduce the cost from 20 to 30%. And by the way, we are, because we are AWS partners, so we are already taking care more than 30 plus companies billing infrastructure by our hand, and we have separate dedicated team for the billing. So we have already paying monthly approximate 40 to $50,000 to AWS on the monthly basis, and we are always trying to reduce our client billing on the basis of the existing infrastructure, and we are fully responsible for all black and whites, right? So we help them to reduce the cost, and alhamdulillah we have already reduced more than 30 to 40% in the last 1 year from multiple customers, which because normally the developers create a big machine, and the once they run, they forget that
Mm.
they need to reduce the machines as well. So let's say the developer created a machine for Node.js for 16 GB, like, and then after some time we created a recommendation in implement a recommendation process, and we found that this is machine is over provision. The same application can be easily be run by 4 GB of memory, and once they need to once the events come on like Christmas or any religious event, and they need to increase the machine size either on vertical or horizontal. For horizontal, they can easily set up the auto scaling, which most of the developer don't know or don't want to know, right, on that part. And in the vertical scaling, if the items is fixed, if the allocation is fixed, we can easily under provision or over provision for a long period of time on the vertical scaling. Like we can easily reduce the machine size from 16 to 8 GB for a permanent basis. And once they need after a period of time in order for the eventually or the weekly incremental, we can set up the auto scaling, which can easily taken care of, right? And we can reduce the 90 or 95% of the cost easily. This is
So
one
do you
example.
use any tools, or third-party tools or in-house tools
We
to
don't need
for
in the
analysis?
cloud. We don't need any third-party tools, right? All the things are easily available in the cloud. I never ever use any third-party tools in the cloud except the QA process. Whenever we set up the quality assurance type, we need to set up called the, what should I say, the unit testing and the load testing. So in the unit
There are
testing and
a
load.
lot of limitations in the tool, whatever the options available within the admin panel, whatever the control panel they have.
Mhm.
So in some cases, even the Azure and AWS acquired and have a partnership with those third-party tools because some of them are very efficient,
Mhm.
and uh, and it's really worth to look into it because I personally gone through with this process, and a lot of things was not able to identify with the local in-house tool, and the third-party tools really dissect the whole thing. And obviously, I mean, different tools have a different functionality,
Correct.
feature, and strength and weakness. But yeah, but this area is evolving, and also actually those products are having a partnership with the cloud provider. Just to let you know.
Yes. Yes, I found some of the tools, but definitely every tools has some pros and cons. So we normally use the built-in tools, which is alhamdulillah for now. For now, this is good for our customers, and we reduce by approximately 30 to 40%. Even some of the machines after 3 to 4 months, we move into the reserve instance for 1 year commitment or the 3 year commitments. This could save approximate 50 to 60% discounts as well on the reserve instance and the saving plans as well, because saving plans already provide the 10% discounts and the reserve instance provide up to 57 to 60% discounts as per the commitment, depend on the tenure, like either the 1 year or the 3 years. Okay, so the building career roadmap.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah.
Mohammed Usman, I have one question. I mean, you said you reduce the cost by looking at the utilization of the Azure resources. Is
Mhm.
that something you look at periodically and see whether it is not utilized? And that is question number one. I mean, what interval you look at it, and what is do you use the cloud provider inside logs and all to determine it? And what would you do for ad hoc situation when the resources needs to be bumped up? That's one question number one. Question number two is can you can you address the horizontal scaling into vertical scaling into a horizontal scaling by auto scaling feature?
Okay. Uh, so you have two questions, right?
Yeah,
So the first question,
yeah,
which you asked, that how I check up the either periodically that we need to increase or reduce the infrastructure, right? So
yeah.
the the main and the good thing is we cannot reduce the infrastructure until 1 month or 2 months at least, right? This is the best practice, right? And the thing is, we have the in the AWS side or the Azure side, we have the resource monitoring tools where we check the resource consumption in terms of memory, in terms of disk, or in terms of what should I say, the CPU. Okay, so the disk having issue that if the disk is created like 20 GB, we cannot reduce it to 15 GB. What we need to do is we need to set up the snapshot first and then recreate the machine by as per our requirement, because if the block storage is created, it can easily expand but it cannot shrink, right? So we cannot reduce the cost in terms of the storage part. We have the long process, creating a snapshot turns into object storage and then recreate into the block storage as per our requirement. But as far as the memory and CPU are concerned, yes, we look after the tools like in the AWS. We have the CloudWatch. In the Google Cloud, we have the cloud operation and the stack drivers, which actually help us to optimize the cost using the probability and the past history, right? Using the past history, the infrastructure tool allow us and tell us that the machine is over provision or under provision, and they recommend us to create this machine and this family. Like if we have the T2 micro machine, we can easily move on to M5 micro or M5 large machine, just an example, right? In order to reduce the cost. So let's say if the current machine is $1 per hour and the 750 hours is $750 per hour, so we can per month we can easily reduce on the another family type in order to reduce from $750 to $500. This is how we normally work in order to reduce the whole infrastructure cost. And one
Got it,
more
got
thing,
it.
yeah,
Okay.
one more thing, and we have two more options in any clouds, like in the sustained discount called the saving plan and the sustained discounts, which applied on the overall bill. Let's say you committed to the Azure or the Google Cloud that you will have to pay approximately $1,000 per month. So the Google, Azure, or AWS will give you commit back that they will give you 10% discount if you go $1,000 or beyond the $1,000. This is the commitment between you and the cloud provider. But if you go less than $1,000, like 990 or 950, you will have to pay 10% extra. So this is against the commitment. So this is the like the you can show the pros and cons both. And second is the yearly commitment discount, like 1 year commitment or the 3 year commitment. Like if you want to pay the machine for monthly 750, multiply by 12 is approximate $9,000 approximate, right? But on the other hand, you can buy the same machine for an yearly commitment by paying up upfront commitment of, instead of 9,000 you can pay directly 7,000 or the 6,000. So you can save up to 3,000 or $4,000 for the year. But on the other hand, you cannot sell the machine throughout the year until the years end out. So there is a pros and cons. Now comes to the second question. The first question is clear, or if I miss
Yeah,
anything?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. And the second question is like the horizontal scaling and the vertical scaling. So, and how can we use the scaling in the vertical scaling? So in the horizontal scaling, you can create a small amount of machine in terms of RAM and CPU, and whenever the search increase, like the spike increase in your application or your website, like the customers and visitors come on your website on the specific occasions, right? So the auto scaling sends your CPU like 60 or 70% for the next 5 minutes, and they will create a new machine, and this process will go and go and go like 2, 3, 4, and 10 or 20 machines until the customers can go out on from your website, and your CPU load is low, like threshold should be less than 40%. It's once is less than 40% of your machine, it means the customer is going out from your application or your website, right? And then after 5 minutes they will destroy your machine until it will back on the one machine again. This will
Yeah, I
save your
mean,
cost.
my question is, I mean, I understood the concept
Okay,
of
sorry,
auto
I missed that
scaling.
you are asking about
Yeah,
the basic process.
my question is, can you tackle the vertical scaling problem with the horizontal scaling?
No, the reason
Because
behind the reason behind
Mhm.
that in the vertical scaling we need to shut down the machine and we need to increase the RAM or CPU, right, in order to turn
Mhm.
in on, right? In the vertical scaling, the CPU and RAMs are fixed, and whenever you change something in the running machine you have to stop this machine. While on the horizontal machine, you can definitely, if you use it, you can easily check that they will not disturb you the existing machine. Instead they will create a clonical machine on the basis of the existing machine.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
that's true.
yes, yes.
What I'm saying is, I guess my question, let me rephrase it. So, I mean, you have your customer base. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, periodically, some event for some sales event promotion happens. You might expect on those days, Thanksgiving or somewhere, the load gets increased. So, if you set up, let's say instead of having one VM, if you set up auto scaling or horizontal
Mm-hmm.
scaling, so that should take care of your load that is periodically coming, right?
Correct,
Can you
correct,
address that, right, in that way? Because it once the load after Thanksgiving, after promotion goes away, it will shrink back to one VM. So
correct.
will that take care of the problem instead of increasing that one VM itself with in vertical scaling to whatever is for one time event?
Yeah,
You see what?
that's I was saying, that you don't need to increase your existing machine in a vertical way. If your existing machine is 2 VM, 2 GB or 4 GB, that's fine, that's good, right? And you can set up a scheduling in multiple ways. You can scheduling horizontal scaling in terms of the CPU basis, or in terms of the pre-scheduling that hey AWS, please create a new 10 machines for from 25th of December till 27th of December, and please delete this machine after 27. This is
Yeah,
the
that's what I mean. Like, I mean, you can take care of
yes,
whatever load by horizontal scaling
yes,
itself.
yes. You can
Yeah,
pre-calculate it as well,
yeah,
because we have both option. One is the sensor basis, event basis, or the metric basis, that once until the CPU not goes on, it will not create any machine. And the other option is that pre creation of this machine, like if the event start is 25th of December, you can set up a machine from 24th of December, and it will easily terminate it on 27th of machine without asking you, without any interruption. This can
yeah, yeah.
happen.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I just as a concept,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
asking. I
I
mean,
understand. Yes,
scaling can be done in both the ways. I mean,
yes, both the
without
ways,
you
but both
spending
the
much
ways
of
in the
the
horizontal domain, not in the vertical domain.
correct, correct,
Okay,
correct. Got it, got it.
thank you.
So that's exactly. The advantage of it is basically you are not paying throughout the year, but
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
that's a
yes,
good thing.
yes. That's a good thing, and you have both option in your hand. Like you can create a pre-setup virtual horizontal machines, or you can put it on the matrix base, that whenever the CPU goes up from the first machine, it will start provisioning the rest of the machines. So choice is yours.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you.
Uh,
Appreciate.
Anyone have any other questions, or should I move forward, Shazad?
Yeah, so I'm very glad that people are asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. If we don't have any question, we can move forward.
Okay, okay. Shazad, one more thing. I think I miss you. I missed that part. That in the 23rd of 23rd of what should I say, 23rd of
April.
April. Yes, 23rd of April and the 30th of April. We have I have two free sessions. Might be people are not interested, but is on the Alibaba cloud. Free of cost, 8 hours free training on the Alibaba Compute and Professional Associate. And
Hmm.
the 30th of June, 30th of April is the DevOps on Alibaba cloud, which is 100% free
Yeah,
of cost. So remind
yeah.
me, I
So
will give you the webinar links. You need to register first, and after this, might be possible you get a free exam vouchers as well from the Alibaba side.
sure, send me the information and I will distribute. So
Can
let's
you
move on.
remind me after this session, please?
Yeah,
Write it
yeah, sure,
somewhere.
sure,
I will give
sure,
you
sure,
the links. You just need to register, right?
sure. So let's move on to the next
Okay.
slide.
So we were discussing about the building your career roadmap. We can set a career goals, like where we want to move in the cloud. Remember one thing, whenever we jump into the cloud side, inside cloud domains, inside the multi-cloud domains, we have different subdomains as well, like as a security engineer, cloud engineer. My personally option is the network designing and the cloud security side and the infrastructure side. These are my core domains. Like I'm working as a VPN engineer, I'm working as the hybrid tunnels engineer to set up the firewalls, to set up the physical fiber optic cables between or among the clouds providers, physical data centers to AWS cloud and so on, and the infrastructure designing. So first, you need to be clear for your career that where you want to go in the cloud side. You cannot take care all of the domain like data engineer, SAP, AI, MLs and other things, right? So your path should be loud and clear in order to move forward. It will be very easy for you. Identify relevant skills and knowledge gaps. You should know that which type of relevant skills you need in order to proceed for your career in the cloud. Plan your learning part. You must have a good learning path for the 6 month or the 1 year plan, right? And the mentorship. Remember, you must have some good mentors in order to move your career, even if you are doing job in a good company, right? But to move forward, you must have some mentor which whom you are accountable to be, right? Otherwise, you can put yourself in the comfort zone again. Okay, so tip for success is the stay updated with the latest trend. I remember one of my English client in the US just give me the funny quote, "Hey Usman, whenever we wake up in the morning, a new shit is here in the technology domain, right?" So there is a truth that whenever we wake up, the new things are available in even in the cloud or any other domains. So that to keep moving forward in this domain, we have to be updated by ourselves, right? Using the updated documents, updated websites, forums, and other things, right? Build a strong professional network. You should be okay. So in the Microsoft certification side, we have the fundamental part, which is called the Azure AZ900. We have the Azure Administrator, which is AZ104, and we have the security and the architect side. So we will start with the Azure Administrator and fundamental side. This is basically complete hands-on lab, and the good thing is which we normally provide the lab manuals, slides, recorded lectures, and the hands-on lab as well. So you can easily train yourself not only for the certification point of view but for the qualification point of view, right? The second thing is the AWS certification roadmap. We start with the foundational certifications. This is the very basic certification which you don't need get any hands-on, and you can easily pass that. This certification is good for the sales and marketing perspective or the project managers who don't want to involve on day-to-day operations. This certification is for those, right? And if you talk about the certification roadmap for the associate in the AWS side, we have free associate exam now in 4 in the next month is the solution architect associate, sysop associate, developer associate, and the data associate, right? Data engineer associate. Inshallah, it will become at the end of this month. The AWS already announced of 12th of April, but I think it may take some more time. So we already covered this certification and this training under one training called the AWS 3-in-1 program, where you don't want to enroll yourself for individual track. You don't need to pay individually, and you don't need to set your effort individually on these three, because the services include in these three different tracks in the associated are overlapping each other. So we already created a course called the AWS 3-in-1 program, which actually allow you to complete the whole training under one course and save your cost, time and efforts in order to pass the exam easily. This is approximate 40 to 45 hours of course. Now let's talk about the professional roadmap. Professional have the DevOps professional and solution architect professional, and keep in mind the professional exam is much more about the theoretical part, is the boring lectures but this is a design scenario. Whenever we talk about the design, the lab is far away, right? In the design you have to understand that where with the DynamoDB will be affected, where with the RDS, where do I need to use the MySQL or the Aurora, right? And where we need to use the Redis or Memcache, which type of machine do we need to use in the specific infrastructure, and so on. In the AWS certification roadmap, these are the specialty exam. So Alhamdulillah, I am all three certified. I am a practitioner certified, I am solution architect professional certified, and a security certified, security specialty certified, and a trainer as well of these. In the advanced networking, I'm not certified, but I'm teaching advanced networking and working with multiple companies in the world from the last 4 years as a advanced cloud network designer, where my responsibility is to set up the VPN tunnels, GRE tunnels, routing functionalities, subnetting, and the VLANs and VPN part. Because in the past I have the 7 years experience into teaching the Cisco CCNA and CCNP, right? So I have a good experience and a good understanding the routing side. That's why I always choose the network designing part in the cloud. It's my favorite topic. So now let's talk about the GCP side. GCP is also one of the good, but the market comparison among with AWS and Azure are low, but definitely you can use this certification in your career. Even every year AWS and multiple clouds conduct sessions or the exhibitions called in the US, Las Vegas. In the AWS set up the Las Vegas exhibition in the last December. Google set up the Las Vegas Google Next exhibitions in the month of April. I think 9 April to 12 April. They just completed, where you can meet the partners, trainers, official teams, and get a free trainings and exams over there, right? So in the cloud certification roadmap, you can start with the associate cloud engineer and the professional cloud architect, data engineer, and so on. So these are the some of the part in order to start the Google Cloud certification. As you can see in the foundation, we have the Google Cloud Associate Engineer. Google Cloud Certified G Suite exam is also the part of the foundation. In the architect, we have only one exam, and in the professional exam, in the specialization, we have different data engineer, cloud network, security developer, and so on. So any question related to this certification roadmap part? Anyone have any question related to the career part?
Usman, can you tell them that how we can train them on Google Cloud? We already have the training program. So can you please
Okay,
tell more
yes.
about the Google training program?
Yes.
And
So
how many certifications you have already completed?
okay, so in the Google Cloud, I am 2x Google Cloud certified, and like I said, I'm already working as a Google Cloud trainer and consultant from the last 6 years, back 2019 till now, and spent approximate 4 years in the US companies in order to migrate the Google projects and implementations. And currently, I'm conducting a Google Cloud Bootcamp, inshallah, in 27th and 28th of May, April, and the 4th or 5th of May, like the weekend. Shazad, can you check the dates, please?
Yeah,
It's
you can send me the information. You
okay.
can send me the information,
Okay,
and then I will
so
distribute.
yes, so I'm this training is actually conducted in Dubai, physically or virtually, but I can onboard you if you all want, right? This is a 4 days boot camp. You can say that's 15 or 16 hours fast track boot camp. So if anyone have the limited budget or the limited time as well and want to complete this Google Cloud boot camp, most welcome to join me. Shazad, please write it somewhere I need to give you this video, I need to give you other details and Alibaba and this Google Cloud details. So let me give you after this session, inshallah.
Okay, good. All
Right.
right. Let's move on.
For the AWS part, if you Shazad have even at least 4 to 5 members having a
Mm-hmm.
same mindset and want to start
Mm-hmm.
on their specific time, not my time, I'm always
Mm-hmm.
welcome. Like your night time, your weekend times, I don't have an issue because we have 4 to 5 different trainers on different time zones on different countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm always welcome for Google, Azure, and AWS, right? And we have another program which is a quite long but is beneficial, like which include all 3 cloud under one course. But this course is approximate 6 to 8 months. So if anyone want to looking a multi-cloud engineer, definitely they need to complete all 3 clouds under a specific domain. So if you talk about the future trends and salary expectation in the cloud, uh, we have the future trends in the cloud computing in different domains, like as a cloud DevOps engineer, multi-cloud DevOps engineer. Remember one thing: if you have a one cloud skills, it will be very hard for you to survive in the market. Either you have a own job, own business, and you are working as a self-employment, because the cloud predictions are changed day by day. If your company has shift from AWS to Google, what will you do if you don't have a Google Cloud experience? So remember one thing, that what I followed in from the last 8 to 9 years, I don't rely a single cloud. I always jump on multiple clouds and become available always on multiple cloud works. Like in the morning, I'm a Google Cloud engineer. In the evening, I'm a AWS Cloud engineer. So I am very happy to work on the multiple clouds, on multiple what should I say, the revenue streams as well. Like I said, I'm working in the Saudi from the last 2 years on different cloud projects in Saudi government, like Ministry of Culture, Ministry of Finance, and so on. And they all are working on the Alibaba Cloud and AWS Cloud. They are not working on the Azure and Google Cloud. But as I know how to work on the Alibaba, they hired me on the first attempt, right? And the basic salary, if I give you the basic salary of the multi-cloud engineer, start with $60 to $80 per hour.
So one question is more non-technical in nature. So what is the reason the Middle East is geared or inclined toward the Alibaba and other clouds?
I'm sorry.
Is there any cost involved? Is the cost is the reason choosing the this major cloud environment?
In the Saudi side?
Yeah, the Middle East side.
Oh, okay. No. There's no cost involved. The main thing, the Saudi mentality. The Saudi mentality is they don't want to put their infrastructure, put their data on those
Hmm.
cloud platform which doesn't have data center in their country. So Alibaba was the first who actually, what should I say, the merge with the STC. You know STC, the Saudi Telecom. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Saudi Telecom is the kafil, you can say, I don't know what's the good word, but is the kafil which actually taking care all the Alibaba cloud on the behalf of the Alibaba infrastructure, right? So they build their data centers on the Riyadh and Jeddah, and
Mm.
they they actually hire STC to taking care as a kafil, and they created a separate company in the under the Alibaba the Saudi ministry called the SCCC, Saudi
Hmm.
Cloud Computing Company. So from now onwards, any cloud comp in the Saudi must have the regulatory under SCCC. So Alibaba was the first one. So they, you can say, is a first mover advantage and the fast mover advantage. AWS just announced, me and Shazad was in Riyadh in Leap last month, and on Leap, AWS announced they will set up and provision the data center and set up a region in 2026. In Alibaba, they have already jumped in 2020 in the Saudi market, and they have a big revenue stream. Most of the cloud providers, most of the ministries are actually jump into the Alibaba. Even I'm working with one of the ministry called the Ministry of Culture nowadays,
Mm.
and they are migrating the whole infrastructure from Oracle Cloud to Alibaba Cloud in Riyadh, and I'm the core engineer of the Alibaba on the behalf of Alibaba in Riyadh. So the thing is, Alibaba have a good market in Saudi. So if you know Alibaba and if you are looking to relocating yourself or to job in the Saudi market, Alibaba is the top best example. Last Alibaba announced one of the solution architect job in Riyadh for all the 40,000 Riyal.
So
So
Middle East, it
uh,
has the same mindset.
no,
I'm
no, no,
talking
no,
about,
no, no. Every country have a separate, even in the Gulf. So Saudi have working on Alibaba, and the second one is the Google Cloud, because Google Cloud just opened the data center, physical data center. So
in
Saudi
Riyadh.
in Riyadh, yes, Riyadh is the main hub, and the availability zone, you can say the redundancy in Jeddah.
Uh,
So there is two different, right? So Saudi government take care, doesn't care about that you announce that you are going to open a data center or not. They focus that you are physically exist in Saudi or not. That's
mm,
why we open a company in Dubai, because in the last year I opened a company in Dubai as well with Shazad, right? And in the Dubai, the AWS is here, Azure is here, but Google and Alibaba is not in the Dubai, right? In the Bahrain region, Bahrain was the first region in Gulf among all Gulf countries where AWS data center exists, and I am the first person uh, in the all Gulf countries who actually taking care the Ministry of Finance project migration, like SAP HANA migration to the AWS cloud in Bahrain, because in 2019 no other Gulf countries have any data center of any cloud except the Bahrain in AWS.
mm.
So we moved the SAP HANA called the VAT system, because Bahrain has a 5% VAT nowadays, right? So for VAT system collection option, connection formation, we move from SAP HANA from on-premises to AWS in back 2019. And then once the ministry is moved, the other ministry is taking care to move, because it's a
Mm.
race among the ministries that if the one ministry is jump on the cloud, why not us? So that's the revenue model, and that's a good opportunity for those who want to get a job or get a company and get a good business in the Middle East side. So we what we did actually in the ministry in the Middle East side, in the Dubai, Bahrain, and Saudi. I'm working on all three countries. I have the Akama in Bahrain, I have the Akama in Dubai, and I have the clients in Riyadh as well, right? So we normally set up the cross country, right, subsidiary company, right, and then we work on the behalf of those company which is physically exist in the Saudi and Dubai. So we have the good opportunity, because they they are here, they are there, the company is there in the Saudi and Dubai, but they don't have the technical capabilities. We have the technical capabilities, so we do a joint venture in order to get the project.
So how about the private sector? What you mentioned just mostly a government sector. So private sector are open to
No,
the cloud. The mindset has changed,
yes,
or
yes. Even in the government sector, they instructed private sector to move on the cloud, because directly or indirectly, the private what the private sector is doing in the Saudi, they are helping oil companies like Aramco. Aramco
hmm,
have multiple what should I say, the vendors, right? The vendors are the private companies. So what they are doing, they are helping directly and indirectly Aramco to move forward to get a good oil and refine the oils and gas, right? So the Aramco hire vendors who actually on the cloud. If they don't, it's just an example. If you are not in the cloud and you are a private company, you will not get the project. That's
hmm.
how they bind other vendors to align under one cloud. So you can say it's a monopoly in the Saudi side, because not only this, Saudi government actually announced free training of Alibaba Cloud for all Saudis. So if you go there, tell any Saudi, hey, I can train you on Alibaba Cloud, they will be very happy to give you a free training, because Alibaba will sorry, Saudi government will reimburse you on the behalf of the specific Saudi. So that's how Middle East is working. So
All right.
yeah, go ahead please.
No, no, that's fine. I think I was wondering the Middle Eastern mindset,
Yes,
how it
because
evolved.
the today's session is not related only for the US market, but also for the Middle East market, because definitely most of you guys are working as a freelancer, as a self-employed, and looking to relocate and looking a company as well. So I think I should tell you the truth what we are doing, because I am doing from the last 4 years in Dubai and the Bahrain market. I have my own office in Dubai as well. So I have a good clients. Nokia and Samsung is a big name of my client in Dubai, Abu Dhabi. So we are not only providing the trainings but also the consultancy. with the help of you guys. So if you have any project, we can help you out, right, in this regards. That's the reason of today's session, is just a discussion and to know each other in order to move forward easily. So I think Shahzad is the moderator as a key person which could help us to move forward either in the training way or in the consulting way. So I can guide you the specific trainings, like we have a separate, we can set up a separate session for trainings, dedicated trainings, and we can have a separate sessions for how we can set up a company in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Saudi, and how we can jump into the business market as well. So I normally taking care of both domains. Shazad, would you like to say something?
No, yeah, we can move forward with
Okay.
our next slides.
Sure.
And then, I will ask the audience participant, please ask question. So no question is a bad question. You can
Yes,
ask any question.
character. Even Amin have a very good questions related to the Saudi market, because definitely I don't want to discuss Alibaba, but if anyone have a opportunity, they can join me on 30th and 23rd of April with free trainings, so they can easily understand. And definitely we all are here to making money, right? So if anyone have opportunity to start freelancing or the doing business in the Middle East side, even they have, if you have some relative in the Saudi and they want to collaborate with you, why not you join you?
Okay, so we have one question,
Yeah, sure.
and this is from Daud, and he has posted it in the chat.
Yeah,
Actually,
go
he's
ahead.
at the airport.
No problem. Let me, yes, Dawood. I don't know.
So
Yeah.
he's basically saying that can you talk about the security considerations in the cloud? So basically, how you will compare the security in one cloud as compared to other.
Okay. So before moving forward, there is very basic cloud security term which we normally use in any cloud, called the security in the cloud and security of the cloud. First, we need to understand. So security of the cloud means the physical security. You cannot jump into their data center, you cannot go inside their data center. Even if you see the Google security, they leave some reptiles in surrounding of the data center, which I normally which I think saw in the last year, right, when I was in the San Jose, right. So I saw the physical data centers. And security in the cloud means the security which is actually exists inside the cloud infrastructure based on the firewalls, based on the security groups and others, right. So this is basic things. Regarding the other securities perspective, on different clouds, every cloud have different security perspective, different services, but the all cloud is based on the specific services which the specific cloud provider are giving you in order to manage that. Like in the AWS side, we have the security hub, we have the encryption options, we have the other options. In the Azure cloud, we have the Azure Sentinels and other services. So you cannot use one cloud security services to other cloud security, right. You need to use the specific cloud services, because cloud services is all about the predefined services or the pay-as-you-go model. You cannot go deeper and deeper on the specific. There is a API services, and you can use only those services uh, for uh, for infrastructure and for security. But apart from that, you can use your own firewalls, you can use your own third-party tools which cloud provider allow you to use that. If they don't allow you to use that, you cannot. So this is the basics of the cloud security, but you need to understand and you need to learn the cloud security service on the specific security certification, either in Azure, AWS or Google Cloud.
So Daud usually work with the government. So that's what his question is, that which cloud you will consider is has more security as compared to other cloud. So for example, how you will compare AWS and Azure or Google in respect to the security.
Okay, so this is a little difficult question, because if we talk about the cloud security services, every cloud provider have the specific set of compliance and regulations. So whenever you work with the government doesn't see the specific security service. Instead, they check how many compliances you have. You have ISO 27001, you have a 27003, SOC 1, SOC 3, HIPAA compliant, PCI DSS compliant. So the government check these compliance and regulations. So these compliance and regulations are normally available on all clouds, all big 4 or 5 clouds, right? The thing is which you need to check that the compatibility, uh, comparison compatibility with your government agencies or the government organization. Like one ministry looking for the physical fiber connectivity from their ministry office to the specific cloud data center. Might be possible that AWS doesn't give you these services because they don't have data center on the specific state or city, but Google can give you. So Google is the prioritable option for you for the specific scenario or the use cases. I hope you got my point.
Yeah, thank you for the
Okay, welcome.
explanation.
Because without the detailed explanation, without the detailed questioning, we cannot find it which cloud is good for us from the specific use cases. So we normally take care of all the cloud, and we compare the requirements from coming from the customers and match with all the cloud providers. If all the cloud provider giving the same, we find any pros and cons which help them to find the best cloud services among these area. So area to area, region to region cloud services prices, services, efficiencies and other things are changed.
Good, thank you.
Welcome. So this is the future trend in the cloud computing. We have storage services, we have mobile services, applications, databases, servers. These are the main pillars you can say in the cloud side. Whenever we see any services, the services comes in the specific domains like storage domain, server domain, application and the subdomains. In the downside, we have 3 different cloud called the public clouds, private and hybrids. The public cloud is actually the cloud which actually provide you to use the servers on their own platform like AWS, Google, Azure, Alibaba, Tencent, Oracle and other Huawei clouds. The private cloud is for those cloud which is created by your company, your data center, and you actually open for other clients, other tenders and the tenants and other providers as well. This includes the OpenStack, CloudStack and others. And the hybrid cloud is actually the combination of multiple clouds like VMware, ESXi to public and others. Like currently, like I give you the example of the Riyadh. What I'm using VMware services on Oracle Cloud, migrating from Oracle to Alibaba Cloud VMware services called the ACVS. And in the whole part, we actually set up the fiber optic coming from the Alibaba Cloud to the Saudi Telecom data center, Saudi Telecom to Oracle Cloud, created a VLAN, trunk ports, layer 3 routings, and then they move data from Oracle VMware to the Alibaba VMware using this fiber optic. So this is what we normally do in terms of designing and hybrid solutions. I think
Any question on this slide? No. Okay, we can move on.
okay, so this is the graph representing the cloud technologies in terms of billions, right? Cloud computing market size from 2021 to 2023, 1,614 billion dollars, right, in 2030, because everything is moving on the cloud side, and they are willing to use on the multi-cloud as well. Definitely, they will not put it all the infrastructure on single cloud. So the salary expectation I think is 104 to 145 is a general range, but it's beyond that. Like as you can see, the 250, 2,500 dollars as well, right? The visual representation of salary data, as you can see, for the average salary is 1,14,000, which you can see is approximate. I can say that 7 to 8 thousand dollars or the $10,000 approximate per month on the average cloud engineer salary. Like I said that I am here in Pakistan, but I am working with multiple cloud providers, and sometimes I work with 100 to 100 to $120 per hour as well. So this is what I am working on. Shazad, can you check the questions because I don't have any options to check the questions.
So we have received one question from Daud. Basically, um, he want to have this presentation, and which I will send it later on.
Yes, just give me 1 minute, please. Just 1 minute. Okay, just I need to 5 minutes break, please. I need a 5 minutes break. Just 1 minute.
Okay, all right. So while you
In-house, I would say,
Shazad, I'm
built-in
back.
tool. The
okay,
built-in tool sometimes does not give up very deep insight, right?
oh, okay,
To
good.
save the cost.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened when you bring tool XYZ, right? Different
Mm-hmm.
tools. There are multiple tools available with based on different
Mm-hmm.
client platform and also based on their pros and cons and
Mm-hmm.
strength and weakness. So the challenge is if you adopt as an organization, right? You choose one tool beside the in-house tools to really examine your costs, how you can save it. So you stuck with only one technology or one third-party tool, right? So problem is, I it's very difficult to integrate all the technology tools for any organization, even the bigger ones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the cost involved, resources involved, time you may get involved, and then you have a data, and then you make an effort, and then you save some money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So somehow, if you guys could develop a solution, not solution in a like a platform or something which really can be leveraged by these big companies
Mm-hmm.
using all these third-party tools in the
Okay,
background
okay,
and
good.
integrate them and then say, because obviously I say if you are providing this is a very good selling point that I
Mm-hmm.
have a top-notch 3 to 5 tools available in the market, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which is really available in our, with us. So you just allow us to get involved, get engaged in create an integration with your environment, and then we can do the analysis and provide the report and whatever the strategy is, we can just recommend to the area where you can save some money, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
one tool integration itself take time,
Right.
cost, and resources.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys able to have 3 4 tools in hand as
Mm-hmm.
a part of the platform and somehow the mechanism to really integrate in the environment and quickly get the report, because there are two scenarios. One is like ongoing continuous monitoring and
Mm-hmm.
recommendation,
Mm-hmm.
but most of the time one time effort is also needed. One time is really sometimes help a lot. For example, if you're running multiple development projects, when
Mm-hmm.
those project is over, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's more like a one-time effort to scan the whole environment, see where we can really upgrade or reduce or decommission or downgrade the resources, and
Mm-hmm.
then immediately save the cost. And the second part is more continuous. So this is more like a subscription base can be possible.
Okay,
So the,
okay.
the good part is actually these guys cannot adopt or integrate multiple technologies or the tools. But if you are offering this service, then obviously it's like a win-win situation. They don't have to buy the licenses. They don't have to really get involved in
Mm.
stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even one-time effort, one-time scanning a tool itself is really productive for these guys
Mm. Mm-hmm.
for recommendation. So
Okay.
that is one area. The second area is the AIPs. AIP is how what are the services available in all these 3 clouds,
यार
and
अम्मी वगैरह को
some
बुला के
sort
लाओ
of
ऊपर से
presentation, some sort of
बात करनी है उनसे
obviously when you are presenting some.
For the advice. So if I heard you correctly, so first one is basically, there are some third-party tools. So maybe we can have the expertise, and rather than the client buy that tool, we
uh,
can use those tools and provide the service only. So they
Correct.
don't have to subscribe. They don't need any expertise or
Mhm.
any resources to
Right.
get those reports. So that's great, and that can be one time or on the multiple regular basis or
Regular basis.
frequency basis, mean after 2 months or after 6 months or every
Correct.
quarter.
Correct.
Yeah. And the second thing you have mentioned is the AI, right? So AI, what kind of services are available in different clouds,
Mm-hmm.
and explain and present it to our customer
Mm-hmm.
and help them which can be used in order to solve their challenges.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, good. That's good feedback. Thank you for sharing it. All right. So we heard from everyone. Daud is basically from is at the airport, so
Yeah,
he cannot talk.
yeah. I just wanted to add whatever brother, the last brother, I forgot. I think was it Ahmed talking about that the AI and the tools.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Ahmed.
Ahmed, okay. Yeah, yeah. So
Amir.
basically, yeah. Okay. I mean, okay. So the thing is, like, AI is like a buzzword, right? Everybody's wanted to jump the bandwagon about
Mm,
AI, but but we need to understand our data first and what AI needs to be uh, used, right? So that would be a very good interesting to know. Okay, how do we determine what AI capability can be enhanced in our current work, right? So, for example, based on the data. So, if that would be, if we can cover those areas, that would be really good.
Mm-hmm. So I believe actually the point is to really catch those buzzwords
Yeah,
because everybody going to
everybody,
really catch
it's
on
a
this.
pressure. Yeah, it's a pressure from the management also, right? Hey,
Exactly.
right. So, for example, we have other tools like, how do we sell our product to potential airlines, saying that, hey, our product is also AI capable. So what? So to add that capability in AI, we need to understand how do we add that, right?
Mm. So that's why I was suggesting Brother Chirag, if he could develop some sort of expertise in a back end, and then how to really truly how to really reach out to the customer or maybe come up with strategy. Obviously, it's kind of an evolving phase, and so there are some area which is still kind of an exploration phase. So we can also put some effort to come up with some sort of solution or some sort of area which really can leverage those AI tools to improve or enhance their business productivity or return of investment or whatever. So yeah, so if they have resources and expertise, definitely will be really helpful. And
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a that area can be explored. All right. Um, any other question we would like to discuss? So, Usman,
Mm-hmm.
can you move on to our expertise? We have a slide where we have listed down all of our expertise.
Okay, this one,
Here,
this one,
no, over here. Yeah,
yeah, expertise.
our
Yes,
capabilities and expertise.
yes.
So, if you can go through it, and if anyone has any question, they can ask the
Yes,
question.
so we have expertise is a multi-cloud DevOps consultancy. It means that it's not the staff augmentation is not a project, is a consultancy means the existing project having some issues. If someone need for ongoing support for the short period of time, we can provide them. The multi-cloud migration like AWS to Google, Google to AWS, Google to Azure migrations. Infrastructure deployment means the deployment from scratch. If someone is looking the cloud infrastructure, the provision from scratch, and they want to move the existing infrastructure on cloud, but before moving that they want to provision the infrastructure like virtual network, landing zones and others, so we provide them. The cost optimization means the existing infrastructure, looking for analysis and recommendation in terms of the billing optimization, and we help them to optimize the billing, reduce the cost in terms of to shut down the machines, shut down the resources, and to continuously taking care the cost related issues, right? The single sign-on, we normally use the Okta and Jump Cloud, where we set up the multiple AWS and multiple Google accounts under one. So we normally use the Jump Cloud and with Okta and help customers to do the same if they have the multiple the single sign-on services. The hybrid deployments, like I said, currently I'm working on the Oracle to Alibaba Cloud. Second project we are going on the AWS and Google Cloud migrations. So with this hybrid deployment, SAP on AWS, this was the project is a uh, little long, and we did that in the back 2019 in Ministry of Bahrain, where we do the SAP HANA, like uh, the MaxDB, the Fury server, and the other services on the AWS. So we set up the whole infrastructure with the help of AWS team. Infrastructure as code using CloudFormation, like we automate the whole infrastructure on the AWS CloudFormation and Terraform using JSON and YAML language. The corporate trainings on all cloud and DevOps services based on the customer requirement. This is actually the custom trainings, not the services which not that training which we are offering that. So the customer tell us that, hey Usman, I need this for some of the AWS service from AWS, some of the migration service from Google, and so on. So we put it on the corporate trainings. And the day-to-day maintenance, we are
right?
Right.
A small business can be any. So, so is there any high level and low level or detail level information regarding if a customer is really on-prem or maybe hosting in a typical environment, right? And we convince them to migrate to the cloud. And I'm talking about small business at this point. So do you have a such? Can he help to give them insight and the benefit and the process? How are we going to follow and to convince them to go cloud?
yes, we do normally.
Yeah,
So
you is that possible to share? And this is one of the areas, Shadad, I was thinking to talk to you maybe later on.
Uh-huh. So basically, for the small businesses,
Yes,
we need a presentation. We already have one where we can share that, hey, why they should move to the cloud? What are the benefits? What
not
is the
only the
process of
benefit, the process
the
wise or
process? Yeah,
the support structure, something
right,
really end to end, so they will understand.
right.
Okay,
Sure, sure. We can. So, do you have some clients where we can
at
show
this
it to them?
point, there is some project I'm working right now,
Okay.
and inshallah, once it's in deploy, I mean it's launched, then I will talk to you on that part.
Okay. Okay. Good.
sure,
So,
Good.
sure. I have a lot of
so
experience
we are
in.
not talking one client. We are not talking one client. Just to let you know, it can be a multiple clients, and you may need to reach out to them, and
Mm-hmm.
depend on how we really tackle, how we address, how we really
Yeah.
convince them. It may be a multiple engagements
Okay.
possible.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know. Yeah. Sure. We can share with you. Why don't I set up a separate meeting with you and we can go through
Yes,
our
that would be
capabilities?
great.
Shehzad, in a small one question. I mean, it seems like from the conversation and the slides, I think you guys have done a lot of migration from cloud to cloud, infrastructure setup, and all those things.
Yes,
Do you have what is your expertise on application development? Do you do application development
correct.
for cloud?
Yes, so it's not about for cloud. Actually, any application can easily run on the cloud except the legacy application which run on the COBOL and Fortran and all those. But rest of the application can easily be run on any cloud provide. We didn't face any sort of difficulties running the application on premises, and we easily move on the cloud side, right? But yes, they we found some difficulties on moving application on Kubernetes clusters, because Kubernetes doesn't support some of the native application, but yes, we can run on individual machines. So we normally develop applications in the last 4 to 5 years. We already uh, hand over 4 to 5 different applications in Canada, US, and one of the biggest client from the from the Shazad side, right? Where we provide the staffing for our development services on React, Angular, and Next.js.
Yeah, and Moin is basically asking that can we provide the development services on cloud? And answer is yes, we can
Yes.
provide. We have the developers who can help in building the application from scratch, or the project is already started, and we can help in the development of the application on the cloud.
Okay, on what technologies do you have your expertise on right now?
So on the Microsoft
Okay,
platform mostly. Yeah.
I mean C sharp, C
Yeah.
sharp,
Right.
Okay,
Right. Right.
got
And .NET
yeah. I
MVC.
just okay. .NET and C sharp.
.NET
Pretty
MVC, .NET yes, and React.
got it. Got it. Thank you.
Okay. But apart from that, if you have any other expertise, we can give you the solutions, because most of the time our resources are engaged in different projects, and once your projects are onboarded, we need to regather the team in order to start your project, right? So don't worry about that.
Okay. All right. I think everyone participated, and I hope that it is useful. And basically, the purpose is, to have a network and know about each other, what you guys are doing, and how we can help each other. So I think we can have another session after, a month or so. So we can get together and exchange our information. And if someone is stuck or need to discuss something, we can discuss anything related to cloud or even technology. Okay.
I think that would be great.
Yeah. So before
Appreciate
we,
it. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. So before we close, anyone else has any question? No? Okay, so I have shared the information. So if you have any question, either you can go directly to our website, smartcloudsolution.com, or you can send an email at info@smartcloudsolution. Okay, with this, I want to thank everyone for their participation, and see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Okay, Shazad, you here?